What's up guys, Bua Davis here. I'm indie game developer and from today I decided to share my knowledge and experience with you. If you are new or just starting or just want to learn more, you are all welcome. Today I want to show you how movement works in Unity 2D. So if you already have Unity, just go ahead and open new empty 2D object. If you don't have, you can download Unity Hub, it's free. And let's begin. When you open first Unity's new 2D project, you will see this interface. If you are not familiar with it, I will shortly explain everything, what is going on, and don't worry, I know it might be a confusing at the beginning, but you will get used to it very soon. On the left side, we have hierarchy window panel, and it will have all the elements of our scene. Right now, we have only this default main camera, as you can see, and this is empty. On the down, we have project panel. It will have all our assets from our project, scripts, sprites, everything will be here. We can create some folders and etc. And on the right side, we have this inspector panel. About inspector, I will talk a little later. But right now, we have this scene window and this game window. As you can see, our game window is just blue screen, empty blue screen, which is quite boring. So let's go and create our first object. To do it, just right click on the mouse in the empty space of this hierarchy, or alternatively you can click on this plus sign here, 2D object sprites, and let's create the square. This square will be acting like our player for today, so go ahead and rename it as a player. This player is alone, so let's create some platform for him to move around. Just create another square, and we can make it bigger by selecting this tool, rect tool, and just making it bigger like so. We can also change its color from the inspector panel. Just click on the color, make it red, and yeah, we have now this player and this platform. Let's rename it also as a platform. Okay, amazing. But if you click on the game right now, click on the play button, you will see that nothing happens. This player is just chilling in the air, doing nothing, and we don't want it because it's still quite boring. So what we can do is we can add Unity's physics system to our player. How to do it, you may ask. We can select our player, and on the inspector panel, you see this add component button. Click on this add component, find physics 2D, and we can find here rigid body 2D, which is the one of the main components of Unity's physics. It adds mass, linear drag, angular drag, and gravity. So what will happen if we play game right now? So you can see our player falls down because now it has gravity, which is amazing, but we don't want our player to fall all the way down. That's why we created this platform right here. We need this player to stop falling and move on this ground. In order to do it, we should teach our platform and teach our player that they can interact with each other. But how to do it? Well, Unity has some solutions like colliders. Colliders are responsible for physical collisions. So if we click on the platform and add component, now find physics 2D, we can add some box collider and it adds this green line, which is amazing. But we also need our player to have collider. Otherwise, it won't work. So go ahead, click on the player, add component, and by the way, you can type on the search bar box, and Box Collider 2D will pop up, and let's add Box Collider. Now, if we press play, our player should stay on the ground. Yes, amazing. This is your first steps in game development. I know it's nothing much yet, but I know how excited it can be at the beginning, so good job. Our next challenge will be to make this player move around horizontal. In order to do it, we need to code some in the C#, and if you are new in coding, don't worry about it. I got you. I will make everything as beginner friendly as I possibly can. But first of all, we need to make script. How to make script? In the project panel, empty space, right click on the mouse button, create C# script, and rename it, call it player movement or something. I already have created player movement script, so I don't need it anymore. What we want to do also, we need to attach our player movement script to our player. So just drag this player movement to our player itself, and as you can see, now it has player movement script. Let's open our script, and we don't need any of this. This will be our default script. When we first open, it has two functions, void start and void update. Void start will run when we start the game, and void update will run every single frame. Don't worry about it just yet. First of all, we need some variables. Variables are just containers to store information, some data, and we need variables for our move speed, because we need some speed to move horizontally, right? For it, we need to public float, and we can call it anything we want. For example, move speed, and we can just make it random number, and F for float. 5 is just really random number. We can change it anytime, and you can see I made it public. I could also make it private. What is difference? If we make this public and save our script right now and go ahead on the back in the Unity, as you can see, now our player movement script, move speed is shown in the inspector. This is what we need about move speed, because when we play tests, we might feel that our player is quite slow or more fast, and we should be able to change it directly from the inspector of Unity. Otherwise, if we make it private, we have to go back and forth in our script and change it from here. So just leave it public. We also need some reference to our input system. So just create float direction or something. And you remember probably this component of physics, rigid body, that we are added to our player. We need to somehow reference this component to our script. In order to do it, let's first of all type what we need, rigid body 2D, and let's name it something like RB. You can name it anything you want. I just like to name it RB because it's short and simple. And now we need to get the reference of this rigid body to our script. In order to do it, we can type RB equals, and Unity has this magical function, get component. What component we are seeking to get? It's rigid body 2D, right? And that's it. Now we have this, with this simple code, we have reference to our rigid body, and it's assigned to our RB. And just remember this RB. And now we need to continue coding. But first of all, if you go to this edit project settings, and you can see this input manager, it has all the access, and Unity has this default access: horizontal, vertical, fire, jump, and others. As you can see, for horizontal movement, we need to click A and D or left and right, and the name is horizontal. We can access this directly in our script. How to do it? We can type input get axis horizontal. Just make sure to type it correctly because it's case sensitive, this horizontal. And we can assign this to our direction. Direction will be equal to input get axis horizontal. So when we click A and D, it will be direction. But let's continue, and let's use velocity. If you are not familiar from physics to velocity, is just prime indicator of the position as well as the rapidity of the object. It can be defined as the distance covered by the object in the unit time. So basically we can use this velocity to move around on the axis. How to do it? Remember our rigid body, which is now RB dot velocity equals, we are in the 2D project, so we can say new vector 2. We have two directions, x and y, and it must have this axis, x and y, and we need to move on what axis, x or y? What do you think, guys? Let's go ahead in Unity once again, click on the player, and you can see this transfer component. It has position of our player. If we change our x, as you can see, it moves horizontally. This is exactly what we want. If we change our y, it moves vertically. We don't need it. We will need it for jumping, but today we need our x-axis. Great. Now we know what to do. New vector 2, and we need to move with this x-axis. Remember, we have move speed, and type move speed times our input of the horizontal, right? Which is now assigned to direction, times direction. And for the y-axis, we don't need to change anything, so we can just say rb velocity.y. It won't be change anything. So let's save this script. You can click on Control S or Command S if you are on Mac, and go ahead and back in Unity. And let's click this play button and see when the magic happens. Our player is on the platform, and if we click A or D, our player now moves. Well, it's quite slow for me, so I will make it 10 maybe. Yeah, it's better. Quite smooth, nice movement around. Just make sure that if you change this move speed from here in the play mode, and when you stop playing this play mode, this speed will come back to 5. So in order to change it fully, just change while not playing. Now this 10 will stay. And that's it, guys. You are now able to move around, and yeah, it's fun. It's your first movement, hopefully. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments down below. And if you like and want to see more videos like this, please like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell not to miss any new upcoming videos. On the next videos, we will cover some jumping, and I will teach you how to add different sprites, how to make real player with animations and everything. And we will have lots of fun, I'm sure. So cheers and see you later.